Heading out to my Hall of Shame building where I got the 70. This has been taking me too long to get the second Hazardous Material video up, because I've been looking for some videos that I was trying to find of it pulling. Still haven't found a lot of them, and I was looking for pictures. Don't have a lot, but I got a few. So anyhow, I'll show you them. But let's go in my Hall of Shame building where I got all my old projects. We'll talk a little more about some stuff about hazardous. There we go, standing next to the beast himself. It's a little bit later than it was in the other video, but I was keeping the doors closed. I was trying to keep animals out. These stupid cats think I'm going to feed them, so that's why they follow me around. But anyway, I told you a lot about the old hazardous material here. The original tires I had on, these aren't the original tires I had. These are 20.834s. Like I say, I got them from a gentleman named Jim Harbaugh. He was up around Frederick. He worked for Glad Hill Tractor Mart, and he had these. He used to have them on his 40-20 power shift that he pulled. I'd been in the fire and it was all rusted. But anyway, the original tires I was running were 23-130s, Armstrongs. Had them cut and everything. And the frame, pardon, the front end support is what we need to call it. The original front end support I had made for the thing. This one is not the original, that's the second one I made. I had a piece of channel iron, but the original one is actually, it's over there on that 720. We'll just show you a picture. You can see in this picture that it is made out of Buckshot's original frame, a 50-20 frame. I just cut it up and remade it into front end support for the 70. A couple of little detail things. Obviously, if you turn to so many RPMs with this tractor, need to do a little something with the valve train, because I put some pretty good sized valves in it. The intakes I didn't put, well, yeah, I put larger intakes and larger exhausts, both, but I can't remember what side. I think I just probably put 830 valves in it. I might have put some slightly larger ones in there. I know in the 720 over there I put some really big ones. I think they were Leroy, some big Leroy engine we found. We could get, it's like 2 7/8 diameter valves we machined and put in there. I'm not sure, I can't remember what size were in here, but anyhow, that's just my water injection tank. It's nothing spectacular. But for the valves to close, I put some dual valve springs in there, and I found out that early John Deere B valve spring will fit inside the 70s valve spring with a little bit of grinding on the outside of it. So that's what I got in there, and it worked just fine. It closes them big valves at over 3,000 RPMs, which is what I was kind of turning with this thing. And we have here, like I say, I am not going to make it real easy to see, because I don't. I mean, you can see this tank up here. That's I'll show you in a picture what all that is. And when I originally put it together, I had from a fuel diesel transfer pump, I had a hydraulic pump out of a Cessna airplane on there, and but it turned out I didn't really need quite all that pressure, and I may put it back on at some point when we do a little more. Like I say, I have a TV61, just say a T06 turbo, air research turbo from a 8630 John Deere, and that works out really well. This is one of my homemade exhaust header there. Like I say, I have it dark because I don't really want everybody to see everything real clear, as I'm not going to tell you exactly what this is. It's some of you smart fellows will figure it out, but use your own noggins a little bit and figure some of this stuff. It's going into this header. Now you got to keep in mind, these tractors, these two cylinders, the pistons don't travel together. If the pistons traveled back and forth together, it would be a smoother running engine. But what you got is, since the piston, when one's forward, the other's back, when they fire, the firing of it, instead of going putt, 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 it goes putt, 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 putt. I'm being very simplistic, but you don't have an even intake of air or the exhaust. It's one right after the other. It's not even. Consequently, the intake valves are both closed for a long time, a lot of degrees of crankshaft rotation. You got a turbocharger on there, it's trying to push air, and it ain't got nowhere to go. So you have to alleviate that problem. We put, I'll call it a cheetah tank on there. It holds quite a large volume of air, and the turbo blows into that, and then it's kind of a holding tank, and like a cheetah tank that you would use on your tires, when the valve's open, it has a huge amount of volume of air. It can rush into the cylinders. But this pipe here, that does a little something else. You smart fellas will figure it out, I know. Especially by looking at the pictures, and as far as the fuel system, basically, I guess put some 830 injector tips on the injectors, or either that, or I forgot 830 and used 830 injectors from somewhere or another. But I drilled out the holes. I bought a little tiny drill bit set and a pin vise, and drilled them by hand. I've done a lot of sets in, well, a good amount of injector tips that way, drilling them out. Some of them are too hard, but I mean, I have been able to get holes through them. I don't know, like 30 thousandths size holes in them, and anyway, that's what's that's what's in there. And it's just 13 millimeter pumps from a 830 or something in there, and to get the amount of fuel you want out of them, you just got to do a lot of finagling with them. Just really play with them a bunch in there with the linkage and everything, and it's you can get a good amount of fuel out of them. But I don't have any idea how much horsepower I made. I mean, it's making at least 50 pounds of boost. And I was running fourth gear. Fourth gear in this thing is, in a 70, is way faster than fifth gear is in a 720 or 730s. It's fast. And I got it in the 5,000 pound class, both the 5 and the 6 and the 7,000 pound class. I would have to drop it to third gear, pulling in the 7 for sure, and maybe in the 6, but it would go on up the track pretty good. And the front end that I have in it was kind of a homemade thing. I had a H front pedestal. I cut the top and the bottom of it off and just took a 4-inch steel pipe and welded the bottom of the H pedestal on there, and you can't even see it. It's too darn dark. I don't have any lights on out here, but that's what it is. That's a 4-inch pipe going up there, and with the gears from the H steering on top, and that's what I got to steer it with, and it's pretty light. And I think of anything else of interest that I really want to tell you. It don't really have a guess as to how much horsepower it had. I don't know. I mean, really don't know. Don't have a guess. I would love to know sometime. We are going to probably at some point freshen it up, get it. Get a little bit different setup on here. I'm going to save this setup just as it is, but we got some other ideas we want to try and some things, and a little bit more fuel, and get some more air going in there. So, but it's amazing what these clutches hold. It's never had even a hint of it slipping. It held all the horsepower and didn't burn it up or anything, and it wouldn't slip. It would get them snapped in. It went on up the track. So, but anyhow, and it's got wonderful patina on the paint. It's getting a little more rusty now than I like. I should have put something on there more to preserve what paint it had, but I like the look anyway. So anyway, where the door here was for getting access to your pony motor, that's my fuel tank. It's this little Freon tank there I got behind there, and close that up, made that little door there, and anyway, it was fun. Transmission is stock, and it had a LA radiator in it. I don't even think it needed a radiator. It never got hot, but had one in there. It had an electric fan on. I don't think I ever turned it on. It just never got hot. But anyway, I'll show you some pictures and look at some videos, and hopefully it'll satisfy most of y'all's curiosity. It's nothing special. Just a bunch of junk threw together to have fun, like almost everything else I put together. So, because I'm too cheap to spend money. Don't you know that about me by now? And time is evidently wasn't worth much to me, because I put a lot of time in stuff. But anyway, let's take a look at some pictures. Here's some pictures of the 70 when I first got it. When it was still just a stock old antique John Deere 2-cylinder diesel, before I made any changes to it. I actually pulled it once at our local antique tractor club's pool without the turbo on it. It was pretty wore out, but it did okay. There's another shot of it. A good friend of mine, Bill Tucker, walking up the track beside it. I forgot to mention the blinds on the flywheel, crankshaft, flywheel side of the crankshaft, were so worn out, I had to weld them up and grind them down with my little handheld grinder and a die grinder, and I got them straight and got the flywheel where it would tighten up. This was the first time I actually pulled it in its turbocharged form, except I had a little TO4 like it would be on a 4430 on it. It ran okay, but not like it does with the larger turbo, the 8630 turbo. This was down at Quasco, Maryland. This is just a picture of Dad pulling his G that we put together for him down at the Quasco also. Here in this picture you can really see that that's a 50/20 frame rails I made that front end support. Alright, I'll call it a frame, but front end support out of. And you get a real good view of the whole setup. Y'all can freeze frame it. I'm sure some of you fellows can figure out what most of the stuff is and does. Although I'm not going to confirm or deny. Here's a shot of the other side. Of course, I got the hood and grill and everything off. You can see the little cut down pedestal on there in this picture. I had to use a couple of, it was much shorter than the 70 pedestal, that H pedestal that I cut down. So you can see I had to use a couple of universals to get the steering to go down to there. But anyway, that's what the side shield looked like when it was fresh painted. There's just a couple other shots of tractor pull over Prince George's County Fairgrounds. Yeah, I was hoping to find some more videos. Now I know I got them, I just don't know where they are right now. I mean, they're even on the computer, and I don't know what file they're stored in and stuff, I guess is how you say it. I don't want to wait too much longer to put this up, so when I find them, I'll string together some more videos of Hazardous here and put them up, but I'll put up what I got now. So anyhow, I'll put up some video of some of the other tractors in the class that I would be pulling in, just so you get a little bit of an idea about the competition that was out there and stuff.
Don't be surprised you see a little smoke coming out of it. They do come through once in a while. And sometimes you think maybe the husband's gonna broke on because she got out and get hit. I think he told me he had that thing, I think around 2,500. I think he said 3,500. And I think he said cruise pressure on that turbo, I think it's like 50 grand with it. It's a lot, I can tell you that. Here we go,
Coming up here.
Robert's a real John Deere Robertson. Here he goes. And again.
just ain't your track, George, that's all. It ain't your track.
See if she can get it done.
Find something new for Bobby though. Come on, Amy.
I tell you, in this modifier class, you never know who's going to win. It could be anybody.
Bobby.
I don't know how hard he turned this thing, but I know she's up there on car around 35, 4,000, maybe a little more. John Kerry used to run the dragster on Detroit. Never really get it done. Here we go. Think you make a 4-4. Yeah.
There's no question.
Well, I tell you, in this class what we got coming up, we got a lot of good contestants. And I'll tell you the truth, I don't know who I would bet on because I tell you what, they're all real super strong tractors. All of them.
My dad takes care of him, not like you.
All right, let's see what he got.
These are just some neat old pictures of some tractors in the classes that we used to pull back in the day, back in the mid to late 90s, when we had these open antique classes we would all pull in. It was a good class. Had quite a few tractors that could show up at any time. Some turbocharged, some of them naturally aspirated but bored and stroked beyond all sanity, and and lightened up, and we just had a good bunch of guys we were pulled with. It was fun.